today because we're in that extra day in the month of February. Like the 29 people, there's a lot of celebration for you guys today. People who were born on the 29th of February, and you only celebrate your birthday once in every 4 years. How weird is that? I don't have any friend who is the 29th, so I don't know how you guys do it. But hey, happy birthday, happy wedding anniversary once in every 4 years, seeing that you're a leap year baby. But back to the story. According to sources in the agency, a total of 45 million lines in the country will be barred for not linking their subscriber identification model, same with their national identification numbers. Out of the 45 million, the sources said 42 million lines have neither made a call, had a data session, or sent an SMS in over 1 year. I fear that my Etisalat line is among these numbers they're talking about, because it's just been sitting there for some reason. I just didn't go back to it. So, adios, my number. I've even forgotten the number by heart. In December 2020, the federal government announced the integration policy of SIM cards into NIN database as a measure to tackle the growing trend of insecurity and kidnapping across the country. And following the multiple deadline extension due to pressure from Nigerians and a huge number of unlinked SIMs, the federal government directed the telecom firms to block only outgoing calls on all unlinked line on the 4th of April 2022. It was then gathered that NCC has not decided to take things a notch higher, and by implementing the policy at full scale for the first time since it was announced in 2020. In a letter to mobile network operators in December 2023, the commissioner affirmed the federal government directive to bar unlinked line by the 28th of this month, which is yesterday, despite pleas by telecom operators that a huge number of lines are yet to link their needs. So, a full-scale implementation of the policy means that all outgoing and incoming voice calls, data and SMSs will be barred. Now, I know that some of you observed that yesterday there were a lot of issues with some of the telecom providers. Calls were all erratic. It was difficult to connect. You'll feel like you're connecting, but there'll be no dialing tune or whatever we call it to the old line where you expect to hear a feedback dialing tune. There was no such thing happening. Messages were hanging all over the place. Data were all very epileptic in terms of data service and all of that. Not one of the telecom provider attributed that to a different problem, but it tells you how chaotic it can actually get if you're thrown off by not linking your NIN and your BVN or whatever information it is that the NCC requires at this point to your telephone number. Security is one of the primary reasons they're doing that. Collating data is another primary reason, which is quite important. And it feels like a simple process. Do it on your phone. But the headache I have with this is there's one particular network provider that I've done it like 2-3 times. And then I kept getting messages saying I needed to link. I'm like, dude, are you guys serious? I have done this a number of times. And it's not my problem at this point. It's yours. But so far, no attempt to buy my line or anything. So, guys, are you on top of this? Have you linked? Have you connected your SIM to your NIN registration? Have you done everything that is required? Did you also get any update from your bank to do same with your bank account? Well, if yes, I would advise you do all that needs to be done so that you don't have to queue up, how it is last minute when they now start to buy. Everybody will run to the banks or run to their telecom providers and like, oh, I can make call. And then you're like, they're not attending to people. There are a lot of crowds, but you should have done it sooner. That's what it means. So do it now. Oh, this one deadline has even passed. So let's see what comes out of it. Perhaps there will be an extension. Very typical of us in Nigeria to always have that extension. So if you're having any headache whatsoever with this, let us know. And then I would also love to get your opinion on what all of these things mean for national security. We're looking at a place where security is something, we're having a security challenge in Nigeria. And I've heard a lot of people, Salasi inclusive, will say, all this kidnapping that's going on, and they've collected all of this data, how is it they can't trace the calls? Well, that is, if people furnish the police with this information when they should. And then secondly, the one that bugs me the most is how you go from making that phone call, dropping off millions of naira. Even if you drop it in the highest denomination of 1,000 naira, it is still going to be bucket loads of money that you're taking to them, because these kidnappers ask for an outrageous sum of money that some people have never seen their entire life. Like 100 million naira. Dude, where do you even begin to start from? So people are forced to sell things, assets, borrow from friends, talk with their social circles and whatever circles to see how they can raise that amount of money. But the fact that this money can be transported with ease and dropped off with ease and not traced at the end of the day, for me, it is still just very mind-boggling. The huge amount of money that changes hand and is going on for years, it's disturbing at this point in time. So anything to address our security challenges would go with it, yes. However, people are saying we haven't seen much come out of the effort that has been made so far. So I would love to get your take on this, as it's one of the very important stories we're looking at on the roundtable today. If you want to touch on this, it seems like our phone lines are down. Okay, I will get the tech guys to address it, the telephone line, but you can call via WhatsApp if you want to touch on this particular story. Feel free to call me on WhatsApp. Our WhatsApp number is 0809 9930137 to share your take. Or you can just send a message via WhatsApp and I'll read them, as many of them as possible. Okay, just give me a second to get the phone line situation sorted and I'll be back in a jiffy. Stay with me, please. All right, thank you very much for staying with us. And we're working on the telephone lines. You can call in a minute or two once that is sorted. Let's go on to another story. If you're looking at some of the perks of the removal of subsidy, because it feels like everything is wrong with that proclamation by the president to remove subsidy. However, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, on Wednesday, he said that importation of PMS, popularly called petrol, into Nigeria has reduced by 50% since the withdrawal of subsidy on the commodity. During his inaugural speech on May 29, 2023, President Bola Tinubu declared that fuel subsidy was gone. Within 24 hours after his declaration, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited, Nigeria's sole importer of PMS, withdrew subsidy on petrol. This led to a jump in the price of the commodity from about 198 naira per litre to over 500 naira. And then it later moved on to 600 naira per litre, currently sells between 620 and 700 naira per litre, depending on the area of purchase. Now, speaking at the third edition of the Ministerial Press Briefing series in Abuja yesterday, where the coordinating Minister for Health and Social Welfare addressed journalists, Idris said that subsidy removal had led to the reduction of fuel imports by 50%. That about 3 months after PMS subsidy was removed by the president, the Group Chief Executive Officer of NNPCL, Melekari, revealed that Nigeria was consuming about 66 million litres of PMS daily. He also said that over 400 billion was spent monthly to subsidize PMS at the time, stressing that the subsidy was having adverse impact on the cash flow of NNPC. Being the sole importer of the product into the country. And over other private oil marketers stopped importing petrol into Nigeria due to the difficulty encountered in accessing the dollar required for the importation of PMS. Kyari said today by law and the provision of the Appropriation Act, there's a subsidy on the supply of petroleum product, particularly PMS, into our country In current data, 3 days ago, the landing cost, he spelt it out at 330 naira per litre. Well, I'm not going to bore you with all the detail. You can pick up the Punch newspaper and read the detail of what it is they're talking about and what they close with, what the landing cost is, what the differential is, and why we're paying what we're paying at the moment. But the interesting part is that the sole importer of PMS is telling us that the import of petrol crashed significantly by 50% since subsidy was removed. You know, I saw the story, I was just thinking, NNPC is the sole importer, yes, and yet it crashed by half. It means that for some reason, demand reduced, or it's become too expensive to smuggle. You know, there are a lot of, you know, when you're solving a puzzle and then it just doesn't fit in that puzzle, you're still trying to look at the perfect fit for it. I'm still trying to get the perfect fit for the story because one, the price goes up. So one issue that's been attributed to heavy subsidy being paid is that people smuggled it. We've not just been able to deal with that aspect of it. And then there are others who have argued. I recall some time back when even from the customs, they were saying, see, we do not agree with the amount that you claim to import into the country, and that is subsidized. I think it's fictitious over time. But because we've been dealing with an opaque system for a very long time, you do not have that proper transparency. And that's why when they talk about corruption in Nigeria and a good number of these countries, the areas they flag most is when it comes to accountability and a bit of transparency. You don't have the paperwork. You can't trace things properly to ascertain in terms of the numbers, the figures, the data, and all of that. And NNPC has been one of those opaque places where you can't really interrogate. Yes, they do the audit every now and again and the likes of it. But there are a lot of gray areas that from not remitting enough to not accounting for what is even extracted and taking out to what is brought into the specific amount that is subsidized, you keep getting varying figures. So here we are again at a point where Nigerians are becoming very emotional about the impact of subsidy on their daily life, the cost of living that has gone up, the economic hardship, and people have attributed one of the causes to the removal of subsidy. And people are making demands that subsidy should be paid on petrol. If you drive down the cost of petrol, it will reduce the price of everything, as in just reacting to it. And then this is coming out to telling us, see, we're not importing half as much as we used to back in the day. And it means that something has been going wrong. Either there was a lie told in the first instance, or people were stealing our petrol that we've not been able to address it. But I'm a little curious of what you make of this bit of information. Now that you've learned that petrol import has crashed by 990 million litres monthly, by almost half of it, what does this information do for you? But we're not subsidizing, so it has crashed. When we're subsidizing, they were bringing in more, and people were stealing them and smuggling them. Well, NNPC has a lot of questions to answer nonetheless when it comes to things like this, and I don't think they've answered enough as to the management of all of this, seeing that they are so importer of this product into the country. All right, our phone lines are back up. 2 stories now. You can call me up on 0700 951 0000 if you want to talk about either of the stories, or you can call via WhatsApp on 0809 9930137. Hello?
Hello, Kim.
Yes, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name?
My name is Chinedu Ahanono.
Welcome, Chinedu.
Yeah. I was the guy that won something last week.
Okay. The one that won the ticket for Chooks the General Show, yes?
No. The quiz last week Tuesday.
Oh, okay. Yes, your name has been forwarded to accounts. They should do the needful. They haven't? I will find out from the account officer.
I have not received the prize yet.
Okay, I will. Please bear with us. I'll find out from him. I forwarded your name and account number, put it on the book. So I'll find out what's holding it.
Okay.
But you definitely get it, I assure you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for your patience.
All right.
All right, sorry about that. Hello? Hello? Oops, sorry about that. Okay, let's go back. Good afternoon.
Hello?
Yes, welcome.
Hello?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes, it's Abuja, right now. Sorry for the
Go ahead.
This issue of kidnapping, I think government don't do anything to make sure that those guys were bad. Hold on, we know they make inside for them, but they are cautious. Those who give them AK-47 to do this operation, because AK-47 is not something that the common one will just go and afford the money to go and buy it. Hello?
We're listening.
Yes, so that is why governments are not proactive in that aspect of this kidnapping issue. They will kidnap and demanding 5 million, 1 million for the family that they have not even. There are some families will not even have up to 100,000 naira. They will be demanding 5 million. They know that wherever the victim is on their hands, the family will be running around to go and look for those money. That they will be threatened if the person will not have the money. So this time they will kill the person. So I think the government should even they are even talking about state police, and I totally against state police. Local vigilante, they know in and out of those forests. If local vigilante can be able to have AK-47, to God who created me for lying tonight, they can be able to go and fight all those guys inside forest. So that is my thing.
All right. I want to believe you're talking about because I mentioned insecurity when we're talking about the NCC instruction about linking your NIN and SIM and all of that together so that we can have some bit of comprehensive data to work with. And one reason that has been given for that is security. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah. Yes, you're welcome.
How are you, madam?
I'm all right. Good afternoon. Welcome.
You look beautiful. I'm watching you, but soon I didn't know that you speak my call.
Oh, okay.
You carry to our
Your network, your connection is really poor. You have to call us back. I can barely hear you. Sorry about that. Hello?
Hello, good afternoon, Kim.
Yes, you're welcome.
My name is KK.
KK? Okay, welcome.
Yes. Before I begin, I want to say, God forbid the day I become a blind follower. Working for like they call him now, Mr. Solo. So, about the fuel importation, you said the number has dropped.
Yeah. By half. 50%.
By half. And you think it's just because people were smuggling it out? Have you considered the fact that the barber I used to barb my hair? Yeah, I used to barb my hair. Before, when there's no light, the guy has to put down the generator. He doesn't do that anymore. He has to wait for NEPA. Me that I'm in the phone business, I fix phones. As a phone engineer, when there's no light, I used to put the generator on to fix phones. I don't do that anymore. I have to wait for NEPA. Have you considered the musical studio that has to wait for NEPA? They don't put their thing on anymore. And even the photo studio. So all these things are the reason why the number drops.
So you're saying that people are no longer using half as much petrol like they used back in the day because it's expensive.
Even at home, when there's no light, before people used to put on their generator. Now they have to wait for NEPA to come. You cannot just go and buy 600 naira, 2 liters, 1,200 naira before 1 hour is finished. Nobody has the money to do that now. So that's why the number dropped. So it's affecting the economy badly. It's not as if they did anything special. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. So he's saying the reason that the importation of petrol reduced by half since subsidies were removed is because the consumption of it has reduced significantly. I could agree with you. I noticed that myself. I've managed my waka about. You know, those random cruises, sometimes you sit in your car, be burning fuel and all of that. We're just naturally adjust to it and you cut down certain things. There are people in the neighborhood where I was staying before who would run their gen like all day if there's no power. But they just unconsciously reduced it also. Well, maybe not unconsciously, very consciously, because it will cost you some serious amount of money. Like when you have to pay 2-3 times the amount from 198 to 600. That is such a jump that would definitely affect lifestyle of people. And so a lot of people will cut down on consumption. At the end of the day, if your budget for petrol for a month is, let's say, 10K back in the day for your gen, I'm not even talking about fueling your vehicle, and then the price goes from 1 something to 6 something, you still want to maintain your 10K because your income has not increased. So where are you going to get the extra money to jump from 10K to 60K? On the average, to fuel my car, the month, how much was it? I think, was it like perhaps maybe 12, 15? And then it jumped to going on 40, 42. It's crazy. So people would find ways to adjust. So you're saying that their adjustment is the reason. Well, that also might be the smuggling aspect, cutting down also, seeing that it's no longer cheap to do that. But yeah, consumption will reduce significantly.
Your economy car.
Oh, but that car is fuel economy. Oh. You can travel from here to Gabon and back with full tank.
We used to talk that the type of your car is so economy. People are now jumping to it. Buy.
Yes, people are making it too expensive now. Everybody's using it.
I'm telling you, it's so economy. People are buying that. This is the car that we're supposed to use. The other day, when you are saying so, Kim no even use it now.
Don't talk too much. I still use AC. We have not cut it down to that extent because let me tell you, so you know I deal with me, because you are not using AC. It does not even affect your fuel consumption. Take that to the bank. Use your AC and enjoy. Enjoy yourself.
But we think that maybe if we on AC.
That's your thinking. I've gone above the thinking, I promise you.
Okay. So, God bless you. I will be calling.
Welcome.
I think military needs to go. He has stayed beyond the time. He has been there over 7 years now. When the other one passed on, may God rest his soul. Military was the one who bragged that they don't have any time to be covered. How can we be lifting crude oil in every day, or in the year, in a week, in a month? We don't know how much crude oil we are lifting. I remember during Obasanjo's time, we used to know how much a crude oil is. During Jonathan, during Dr. Jonathan, when was there, this one that loot our daughter for his village. Something Philip, what's his name? During Kuluku time, they told it's military. We don't know anything about what is going on in NMP. You said that they are giving all this. So they are saying, what the state that we believe. The same man who was telling us that if refinery work, the price of oil will not come down. Is he supposed to be celebrating that? The whole GMT of NMPC, instead of being to push for how the refinery will work, that he can use it to brag contact for that. Oh, when I was GMT of NMPC, so even though if you will make it till you leave the world, your time, the work. Even if that was not work, if the Nigerian work, the web price will also remain like that. Yes, what we do to look at is this thing or other thing. What do you say?
All right, Adewumi. All right.
We don't understand what is going on in the city.
Adewumi, the connection became so poor, very rusty. But what I got from what he was saying is Melekere needs to go. Somebody else needs to come. He's not efficient, is what he's saying. Hello?
Hello,
Good afternoon. You're welcome.
Yeah, my name is Lukman. I'm calling from airport.
Go ahead, Lukman.
Zamani.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, the government said the importation has dropped of the consumption.
Well, the importation have reduced, so some people are attributing it to the consumption reducing within Nigeria. Or is there more?
Is the government taking credit, or is anybody crediting the government on that?
I'm just giving you the information.
The consumption is a common sense in that if the price is too difficult for people to afford, definitely the demand will drop. So, and the consumption will drop. All of us can observe that from our environment. The number of the percentage of noise, generators noise has reduced very well. Because you cannot just go and buy for almost 700 naira per liter and come and use it to be watching TV. No, people rather be watching the TV on their phone. So that's just it. Yes. So the only thing that, I will continue to say it as your guest, that
fantastic scholar, Dr. Majid,
yeah.
there is no alternative to that subsidy. Just have to bring it back. But the problem I see with the Nigerian leadership is that they want to justify their mistake. You understand? They don't want to, like, if they are humble pie, probably they have erred, they have, committed the blunder. It's very simple for them to now reverse it, but they want to justify it, and they will see them grandstanding. Otherwise, that removal has caused the economy more. You understand, on the negative side and positive side. You can see it. Are you talking about cost of transportation? Are you talking about cost of doing, production? So the only way forward is just for the government to, is the only one thing that we advise Nigerians to do, which they should begin to sing that song, bring back the subsidies, let them go and borrow money. You have to be alive to even pay debt. Because if you are trying to save for the people, if people are not alive, then what is the essence? So the president should not be doing as if he loves the country, he loves the country more than us. No. We look for source for the money, reduce corruption in NNPC. NNPC that's refused to remit money to the CBN for like 2 years under Melekiari. They should carry out a strong reform in that NNPC. You understand? So it is the corruption in the subsidy that is the problem, not the subsidy itself.
All right.
Everywhere in the world, government pays subsidy. And if government wants to encourage production, they have to make energy affordable for the people. You understand? That's just a very simple, common sense economic theory. So they have to apply it. That's the only way to go. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Hello. Okay, let's look at some comment quickly, and I'll take the last story. Did you say we have to link our SIM with our BVN? How's that? No, NIN to your SIM is what NCC is asking for. I just mentioned the BVN with the banks because one of the banks sent a message saying that we have to link, BVN, NIN to the bank account. Please, I need a worker from Gwagwalada. Okay, Omar Mansuri Naf Base, Abuja. I will find out from him if he wants his number given out. Okay. And let's see here. Wenga from Cuba says, I gave police information about some activities of some criminals and internet fraud guys around my area. Do you know police actually came, got them arrested, recovered a gun and some hard drugs from them, but went ahead and collected money and told them I gave them information for 1 month plus. I had to be on the run and look for a way to relocate from the axis. It was just God's. So now my policy is see and pass. Oh, that's sad. Mr. Innocent said, it was a very bad experience yesterday with inability to make calls or receive calls. To this, there's need to improve security monitor, especially in some critical facilities like telecom, power, equipment, and many more. For instance, someone without any knowledge of electricity cannot vandalize electricity equipment and facilities. So it's the same with people who are in charge to do such evil. If thorough investigation is being conducted, it will shock you on how people who are doing this, who the people sabotaging the country are. I think many heads and senior AEDC staff should be sacked with immediate effect, says Mr. Innocent. Okay, for power, right? So what made the price of products go high? Joe Imaraba. Well, I asked you the question. You're asking me back. Does the 50% affect the price of food in the country or reduce the price of PMS? Look, Kim, these people didn't know what it takes to bring us out of what they've plunged the nation into. I advise they should all honorably resign, including Mr. President, says Rel to Sam. Talking about Mr. President. Mr. President on Wednesday appealed for patience from Nigerians over the economic hardship in the country, giving the assurance that there was light at the end of the tunnel. The president said he was fully aware and took responsibility for the difficulty Nigerians have been subjected to on account of government policies. He said he would not complain, but welcome all criticism since he was the one who asked to be your president. He spoke in Akure, the Ondo State capital, during his visit to the leader of the Pan-Yoruba Social Political Organization, Afenifere, and that's Pa Ruben Fashion-Roti in Akure. He also paid a condolence visit to the family of late former Ondo State Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, who passed in December. The fuel subsidy removal and other economic reforms introduced by President Tinubu have attracted public censure following the high cost of living, the food inflation, and other effects. And we saw the protest that happened, even though it was cut short at some point in time. But in a statement put out by the special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Anjurin Gelali, the president says, I take full responsibility for the nation. We're building an efficient Nigeria that is inclusive and fair to all, and emphasizes commitment to leading Nigerians towards economic and social prosperity, saying, we're meeting our obligation to the international community, to lenders. We've not defaulted, and we're not going to default. We're navigating the twists and bends on the road to Nigeria's prosperity. And on reforming the country, the president said his task will be to ensure fiscal and true federalism, as well as the broad-based manifestation of the philosophy of what is sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander, and acknowledge and understand what the situation is and appeal the support of Nigerians in the face of the harsh but temporary economic condition, assuring them that their patience and perseverance will not be fruitless. Meanwhile, the Minister of Information has also appealed for patience. He says, give the president some time to fix Nigeria. Be patient, he said today. And that he assured you that the president will fix the country. He said this at the Punch Nigeria Limited 50th anniversary lecture, where he appealed for a bit more patience. I think we've heard a lot of this about patience, or patience at one point in time for one government after another. But, oh well, how much time, how much rope would you give this government? I think at this point, people have started snapping. That's why you saw pockets of protest over the cost of living. The NLC protest also is all the sign you need that people have come to the end of their patience rope, if there's any such thing there. All right. So how much more time can you give the government to get out of this conundrum we're in at the moment? Call me up on 0700 951 0000, or you can call via WhatsApp and share your thoughts with us. Conundrum we're in at the moment. Call me up on 0700. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, we're good. Go ahead. Okay, I see it's connecting. Hello.
Hi.
Yes, you're welcome.
Good afternoon, Kim.
Good afternoon to you.
This is Comrade Aaron on the line.
Welcome, comrade.
Thank you, Kim. It's been a while. Kim, issue of this, the consumption of fuel being dropped, there is not any magic there ahead, because the price of fuel now compared to before this government took over power, Nigerians can manage themselves. With small money, you can purchase enough of fuel that can serve you a longer period. But, Kim, do you know that I have not been owning my gens for a while? It's because of this heat. And I have to force myself to own it for like 2 or 3 hours. Because we can't sleep. And the worst part of it, AADC, they are not giving us light when we needed it most. Okay, now in the afternoon that we are at work, they will give us light. At night that the house is hot, the lights will not be there. During the Harmattan period, the lights will be there almost 24 hours. Now that heat is the outbreak of meningitis from other parts of the country, we are just trying to avoid that. So just have to just do that sacrifice and on the gen for the children to see how they can sleep before we off it. Please, government should think about this removal of subsidy, because you have been telling us to be patient, and all you promised, none of them has come to life. No CNG buses, nothing. The alternative you are giving is the state governors allegedly that are holding it. And these people that are telling us to be patient, and Kim, I doubt it if they use their personal money to pay some of their bills.
All right. Thank you very much, Comrade Haruna, for that. Let's hear another caller. Okay, let it go. Charles says, to claim that there's been a reduction in petrol imports is clear error. It's an erroneous statement by government because apparently hitherto proclaimed quantity of petrol imports were being overbloated to fleece the country. It was all part of the corruption in the sector. No more subsidy payment only helps to enshrine some level of transparency in the sector, so much that figures are no longer corruptly bloated for looters fleecing the sector. That's another argument. One, consumption has reduced significantly, which is a fact. And the fact also that people have been questioning and querying the amount they claim to import into the country, refined petrol that is subsidized, claiming that it's possible, very, very possible, that people are inflating the amount so that you can get more money subsidized and we're not bringing in half as much. So NNPC truly has all the questions to answer, seeing that they're the major importer into the country. And Mr. Gordon from Area 11 says, I'm tired of identity registration in Nigeria. I think our security agencies do relax, waiting to be motivated before carrying out their primary responsibility of protection of life and property. E.g., FCT Minister Wike have to put 20 million bounty on 2 kidnappers and they were arrested within 48 hours. If caller says something that is not radio friendly, they get tracked down easily. But he's wondering why we can't do that without some bit of, incentive, that is. All right. Hello? Good afternoon and welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Kim. Hi as well.
Work is going okay.
My name is Monday, calling from Wizarding.
Go ahead, Monday.
You can see how our leader doesn't care about their own citizens. He knew that this fuel subsidy has put Nigeria into mess, and he keeps telling us to be patient. Like now, somebody that has children that he cannot be able to get food for them, if the children are crying, that man should go and tell his children to be patient. What kind of a leader do we have like this? They budget taxpayer money to be feeding them every blessed day. Medical whatsoever is free. Then a poor man that he cannot be able to afford will fend for himself, and somebody is telling you, put how many more now? Almost 8 months, you keep telling people to be patient. There is a limit of everything, and when you get to that limit, that patient will get out of hand, and it becomes a problem. Please, our president should just bring that for subsidy back. There's nothing wrong when you make a decision and you discover that it's not working. You run to plan B by bringing it back to ease the suffering of Nigeria. Please, it's very, very important. Thank you. Have a nice deliberation.
All right. Thank you very much. So you think the solution to addressing all of this is for the subsidy to be paid on petrol? Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, you're welcome.
Yeah, this is Boniface calling from Guarimpa.
We're listening, sir.
I said, this is Boniface.
We're listening. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. On the issue of Mr. President trying to address us is giving us a topic. I mean, no disrespect to the Mr. President. Is he trying to create contact with Nigerians' emotions? Oh, I don't understand. Or he must suddenly become a content creator. Because each time he keeps on coming on with the topic to make us, they make all the masses keep talking about, lamenting about, without any action being implemented. See, there's nothing he can tell us that he said in 8 months, now he cannot still do anything. Did you tackle the security? No. What did you tackle? If Mr. President he really wants to work for Nigeria, he shouldn't be removing this subsidy because we suffer from cashless policy down to his tenure. He declared subsidy gone. Now before you know that they will say they are trying to give palliative. What is palliative? This palliative is just playing with people's emotions. How many people are working? How many people are giving this 30,000 alone? How many people are working? And now we should just, if you think we cannot undo the thing, you just bring back the subsidy and then let the corruption continue in another way they are trying to tackle. Don't understand. Let you just bring back the subsidy. We are hungry too much. Thank you.
Well, it seems there's no easy way out at this point. Hello?
Hello, okay.
Yes, you're welcome.
Good morning.
It's good afternoon. Okay, from your end.
My name is Kobe.
Welcome, Kobe.
Yeah, thank you so much. Kim, it's very sad though I still had a discussion with people who understand this government. I'm not saying people don't have opinions. They should have their opinions. But it is somehow awkward for me to see crisis and somebody is trying to understand why the crisis is there. This is this. There was a high level of adamance from this our current president. Very high level of adamance, because there are foundational issues. One would think that now you have the cap to be president. Enter first. Try to solve those fundamental issues that you are talking about, e.g. corruption. Come with what Mr. Majid says, kill classism. Those kind of things that would see that we are trying to see you use alternative means. There was no attempt at all. There was nothing like, let's try to see corruption. In fact, these foreign investors we are trying to bring in, let's try to channel more effort to security first before now trying to remove subsidy to encourage energy investors. There was none of that. How do you've not entered office? That is how you know somebody that is adamant. And that has not worked out. Now, the subsidy, I bet you the reaction that they got from some of these economic policies in terms of how it hit the economy, they didn't plan for it as well. That's how you know he wasn't prepared. Again, I repeat, he had no CBN governor, no financial advisor, no minister of finance. Who does that? And then how we have a bunch that are understanding? I'm praying so much that Nigerians do not drop the ball of the office of the citizens, starting with those around the president. No matter what you are appointed to be, you are still a citizen. Hold that office of citizenship properly and do this accountability demand very well. And if this man, by the next election, I pray he's voted out. If he continues 8 years, I don't know what we have done to our electoral system then.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kobe. And I can see that calls can come through WhatsApp now successfully. We needed to sort some things out from that end. For all those who are trying, keep trying. You'll come through. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You're welcome.
This is my chooks from Kubwa.
All right.
Colin.
Go ahead.
Good evening, my sister. It's almost 4 now.
Yes, it is.
Yes. About subsidy, about insecurity, about everything. What I have to say is that he who failed to plan to fail. The government job with planning remove subsidy. And what we are seeing is the after effect of that careless speech by the number one citizen. And the swearing in. The previous government has already told us that by June, ending of June, they will remove subsidy. But by May 29th, person that is coming in that have not studied the ground, to know what is on ground, to get economists to advise him the way forward, immediately made us and marketers and all these businessmen, middlemen, they just chanced on it, started with their excesses that Nigerians are suffering from now. So I'll call on the president to get an economic team that will study the after effects of this subsidy removal and advise him on the best way. So if he to do it halfway, let them do it. There's no country that doesn't have subsidy on anything, especially agriculture, food. Food is subsidized in most countries. If you travel, you see that most countries, food is the cheapest thing you can get. Thank you. Goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's go on a quick break. Bivan is already seated for the news at the top of the hour. Still with 95.1 Nigeria Info.
Hello, my name is Kimberly. I'm the host of Hard Facts, and I bring you the biggest stories driving conversation every weekday here on 95.1 Nigeria Info Hard Fact Show. I love to get your opinion and conjectures, but the facts you cannot dispute here on Hard Facts. Join me and let's talk.
This is Nigeria.